Hello. So today I thought I would focus on a plugin called Dynamic Map. And what is Dynamic Map? Well, it's a kind of a web server, and it will create a huge map like this of your world. And up here to the right you have different modes. You have the top view, you got the kind of 3D view, and then the caves view. On the top view, for example, I can move the map around by just holding down the left mouse button. And of course I can zoom in with the scroll wheel. And same thing with the 3D view, you can zoom in and move the map around. And you can zoom in pretty far. This is the maximum zoom level. And you can have different texture packs with this, but I just use the default one because most people actually want to have the default textures to look at it so that they can recognize what it is. And I also have a add-on or extension for this dynamic map called Dynmap Essentials. So it will take information from the Essentials plugin, and right now it just takes like warps and homes, and you can set it up to show like animals and stuff, but I just set up homes. For example, there's a home sign here, and if you hold your mouse above it, it will tell you what home it is or whose home it is. So this belongs to the 64-bit geek. As you see, it says home. And another thing is warps. I have different warps on the server. So this portal here is not another portal, but it is another portal, but it's actually a warp. And if you have the mouse above it, it will tell the name of that warp. So I have a castle there. Slime is a slime farm over here. Here's the gold farm in the overworld. Skeleton farm. I also have a shop over here. And over here is an iron farm. Another portal. So yeah, that's kind of what. And here's my home up here. So yeah, you can do a lot of fun stuff. But the thing is that these maps, you can see it's quite a big map, not a big area. So this map will take up a lot of space on the hard drive or the SSD. And it also contains a bunch of files. I think this map contains about 1 million small files or images. And that will actually take a long time to back up. So that's why I want to have the map on a different place than on the Minecraft server. And I'm going to show you today how to actually move that map and the web server for the map to another place. But first off, I'm actually going to show you how to actually add a dedicated icon for a server. For example, if you are in the game and you go to the multiplayer section, you will see a list of your servers that you can connect to. And to the left, you see a bunch of icons for those servers. And you can change those icons. And they have to be named like this, server-icon.png. So it has to be a PNG file or image file. And it has to be 64 by 64 pixels as well. And here you can see how this looks. This is actually my player skin that I have in the game. And here's another one that I can use, but I don't use it right now. But this is actually the profile image on my YouTube channel, on this channel. So yeah, you can have different images, but they need to be, as I said, they have to be named like this, server-icon and size 64 by 64 pixels. And what you do is that you just copy this and you put it on your server. And it has to be, remember, here's all the servers that I have. So I go to the spigot, and it has to be put right here where you have the spigot server jar. So just paste it in here, like this. And if you go to the server list, you will now see this icon for this specific server. And here's another thing you can do. The text, you can change the color of the text on those servers as well, or this server especially. And to do that, you need to go into the server.properties here, and right over here, let's put it like this. And you have your MOTD, the message of the day, or MOTD here. And that's what will kind of show up in the server list. You can name your server yourself, but underneath that, this will show up. Right now it will be like dark gray or something, but you can change that very easily. So what you need to do, I'm just going to have some spaces here so that I can show you. You need to type in this text like this. And what you need to do next is, as I showed you before, this one. So this is kind of the command for the color. And then you need to add the color. As you can see, there are a bunch of different colors here that you can use. For example, 4 is dark red, and C is red. But the only thing you need to type in here is this number here, or the C, or 4. So if I want to have it like red, I just type C over here. Oops. Like this. So U00A7 and C. So now everything that is next to this command will now be red. So you have to have the text just next to it like this. So now this text will be red. But I'm going to change this a little bit. I want to have a dash and then the yo at the end. And this dash can actually have a different color. So you just put this command next to it. And what color should I use? Well, I want to have the dash to be white. So that's the F. So just type F here. And the dash has to be just next to that F. And then the yo, the last yo there, I want to have that in a different color as well. So just paste this next to it, and then I want it to be gold color, or orange gold. And that's number 6. So I just type 6 here, and have the yo just next to it. So now the text will be, what was it? See, red, white, and gold. And just save the file. Okay, so now you have a custom icon for your server and also custom text for your server. So that was that. So let's go to the plugin, the Dynmap Map. And first of all, you need to go into the plugins folder here. And here you have the main Dynmap Map folder. And this is the extension for it, or add-on for it. It's called Dynmap Essentials. But you're going to go into this dynamic map, main one here. And the maps are actually stored here under the web and then under tiles. And as I said, the maps can be huge. So I want to actually move these tiles here, but I actually need to move the entire web server here. So what I do is go to the main here, the dynamic map, and this web here, and just right click on it and select copy. And earlier I actually shared the sort of Apache web server directory or file directory for it. It's called var www.html, so just HTML. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to create a new map, and it has to be the same name as the plugin name. So I call it Dynmap, and then I'm going in there, and then I'm going to paste that web server in here, like that. So instead of having it on the Minecraft server and the web, I'm now having it on the sort of Apache web server. But you need to tell the Minecraft server as well that you moved it. So you need to tell the dynamic map on the Minecraft server that, well, the web server is actually over here. So what you need to do is that you go into the plugins, dynamic map, and then you have a configuration file here. So just double click on it, and it should be looking like this. And there is a bunch of stuff over here. And let's minimize these ones. I know there's a bunch of stuff here, and I'm going through all of this later on, or the things that are changed at least. But first, let's actually tell dynamic map where the new sort of web service is. And to do that, you need to go into this one, yes. And right over here, you need to actually see there are hashtags over here. And hashtag means that you kind of make it a comment, or you sort of disable it. So you just type a hashtag over here on the internal client update. And you also need to disable next one, send health. So just a hashtag on that one as well. And allow web chat, disable that. And also web chat interval, like that. So now you have disabled sort of the internal web server, or some of the function of it at least. And now you're going to tell it to use the other direction, or enable some other stuff. And it should be on the this JSON file client update component. So what you're going to do here is just to remove that. You're going to remove the hashtag on that one, and write the interval 1. You should enable that as well. And send health true. That should be enabled as well. And allow allow web chat. So that's done. And now you actually need to tell the server where the new destination is. Let's see. Let's search for it. It should be called title path or tile path. So this is sort of the internal web browser or web service on the Minecraft server. And I'm going to change that or remove it like this, the text here. And it's going to be on, I'm going to paste this in. It's over here, var w.html dynmap web and tiles, which is actually, as I said, HTML, dynmap web and tiles. That's the web. And also the web path, you need to change that. And that should also be on that over there. Now you just going to save it. Now you actually moved sort of the map and stuff. And while we are in here, I might actually just show you some other stuff that I change on this map. Let's start beginning here. Line 350. Let's see, where's line 350? Line 350 is parallel render count, so that it will use some more cores when it's rendering the map. Line 379, let's see, line 379 over here. Sidebar opened, true. That means that if you go into the dynamic map here again, normally when you go in here, this menu to the right is normally closed. And to be able to get to it, you need to move your mouse to the side here. But I want it to be always open. And that's what this means. Sidebar opened, true. It's always shown. And then line 407 over here. You need to have a different world name. For example, if you have your, this is the world, now it's actually named world, so that's just perfect. But if you have a different world name on your map here, and you need to change that over here as well. And also for change the flat. These are the different maps. For example, the first one is called flat. The second one is normally called, I don't remember what it's called, but I actually renamed it called 3D view. And then you have the caves. And you're basically telling what default sort of map view it is. And I set it to, the default is flat. And you can have it as flat if you want to. Let's keep it at flat at the moment, at least. Yeah, it's called surface. So if you want the kind of the 3D view, you change this to surface, like that. And that's kind of it, what I changed here in the configuration file. So I just changed so that it will use the Apache web server instead, and change the direction to it, and also change some other stuff. So that's the configuration file for the plugins, Dynmap. But there are a bunch of other stuff here that you can change. For example, the worlds file. It looks like this. And yeah, at the bottom, if you go to the bottom here, for example, if you go in the dynamic map, you see it's called Overworld, the Nether, and the End, and it's custom made. Normally these names will be exactly like the world names, so they will actually, it will say world, world Nether, and world the End over here. But I want to change that so it will look like this. And you do that in this world folder. So you need, at the bottom, you actually need to type in, just paste this in. And for example, the world, right now it was actually called just world. And it should be called overworld instead. And the Nether, world Nether, should be called the Nether instead. Same thing here with the End. It should be called the End. So when you add it like this, it will now look like this. Just save it and close. And then I'm actually going into dynamic map. And then we go into the templates folder here. And what I'm going to change here is the Nether high-res file over here. And it looks like this. So what I'm going to change over here is, let's see, line 21 over here, flat. You see when I hover over this, it says normally flat, but I want it to be named top view, like this. And also this middle icon, I want it to be called 3D view, and capes. And I want that to be on every single world here. So that's why you need to change this title flat to top view. And also here, I want to have high resolution images. So I changed from low to high res. And then line 31 here, it should be called surface over here. I want it to be called 3D view. And then you just save it. And then we're going to the normal high-res file. Let's see, normal high-res. And we are basically going to do the same thing over here. So line 21, flat, top view. I want it to be high resolution. And then line 25 over here. The shadows, if you go in, if you have the 3D view, if you go, for example, over here, for example, over here, you see that this thing will actually be bigger than the bottom, so it will drop a shadow down here. So this circle here will be very dark. Same thing with this one, it will drop a shadow here. So this will be very dark, but I don't want it to be dark. I want it to be viewable. I want to see it. So instead of having a shadow here, I'm actually changing from shadows to default. And then line 33. No, 29. Yeah, this one. 3D view. And then line 36. No, 33. Yeah. I change this to default as well. And then line 37. Yeah. Cave. I want to have it to call caves. Caves. Because there are plural. There are several caves on the map. Lighting default. So save it and close. And now we are going to the end. High res. And we're going to change some stuff here as well. And top view. I want it to be high res. And let's see here. And the surface over here. 3D view. And now you're actually done setting up the dynamic map. So what did we do? Well, we went to the dynamic map here and we copied the web folder here to the Apache web server instead. Oops. And we also changed the configuration file a bit to and tell that it should be that we actually moved the web directory and the tiles. And we did some other small changes as well to use multiple cores when it renders. And also open the open this sidebar. And we also changed the texture so that it will be high resolution. And if you want to have your own texture pack, here you can see it's folder called texture packs. So if you go into it, you can have multiple textures packs here if you want to, but I'll just use the standard one. So you go in here, and if you actually have a special texture pack that you want to use, for example, let's see where I have it. I have texture packs. I have my own texture pack, like this one. You can actually just use, I think you can use a zip file. If you want to, I think you can do it, but I think it's working better if you have it unzipped. So, for example, you see this asset folder here. So what you do is just drag it out, just unzip it. Yeah, my pack is kind of big. And I can actually just have it here. Let's just have everything here at least. So if you want to have a texture pack, just have it like this. I think it should be just like this. Let's see my real server here. Yeah, like that. Perfect. So if you want to have your own texture pack, just have it like this. And in here are all the blocks, textures, the blocks and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of a dynamic map for you, and how I set it up at least. So yeah, I hope you understood something, and if you have any questions, just make a comment or send me a private message or make a comment in the video, and I will try to answer it. So yeah, see you later.